Let me ask you something. How bad you want it? No, not talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking about that fire in your gut. Eyes bloodshot. I won't stop until I get it kind of one. That all they want. I must. You see, the difference between average and greatness, it's not talent, it's not money, it's not connections, it's grit. It's that unshakable belief that says, I can rise from this. I will rise from this, I must rise from this. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they never made a decision to go all in. Commitment is the great separator. It's the difference between the person who talks about what they're going to do and the person who actually does it. See, comfort is seductive. It whispers in your ear and take it easy. You deserve a break. You've done enough. But what comfort won't tell you is that it's the silent killer of dreams. Comfort lulls you into mediocrity. It convinces you to settle, to pause, to play it safe. And every time you choose comfort over commitment, you lose a piece of your purpose. No? There's a moment in every journey when things get hard, harder than you expected. You hit a wall and everything in you wants to turn back. That's when most people quit. Not because they couldn't do it, but because they weren't truly committed to it. They were interested. They were excited when it was easy, but when pain showed up, they backed off. That's not commitment. That's convenience. And convenience never built anything worth having. Real commitment doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't check in to see if you're motivated. Commitment says, no matter what, I show up. Whether it's raining or the sun is shining, whether I'm tired or energized, whether I feel like it or not, I made a vow to myself, and I will not break it. That's the kind of mindset you need to win. That's the kind of fuel you need to go all in. Think about the people who achieve greatness in any field, sports, business, the arts. It's not that they didn't feel fear, doubt, or frustration. It's that they decided before all that showed up that quitting was not an option. They built habits around commitment. They structured their lives to support the vision. They eliminated distraction. They let go of things that didn't serve the mission. That's what separates them. Not gifts, not love, commitment. The truth is your goals are going to cost you something. They'll cost you time, energy, relationships, comfort, maybe even sleep. But if you're not willing to pay that price, then the goal isn't really a goal. Commitment is when you stop negotiating with your dream. It's when you take the words of maybe, of if, and a try out of your vocabulary and replace them with a will, no matter what. It's when you stop making excuses and start taking ownership. You can't tiptoe toward your dream. You can't dip one foot in the water and call it swimming. If you're going to do this, if you're going to change your life, pursue greatness, build something that matters, then you gotta burn the boats. Leave no plan B, burn every bridge back to average. And the only way to do that is to go all in. Commitment means there's no exit strategy. It means the only way out is through. You commit to the process. You commit to the grind. You commit to the long nights, the early mornings, the failures, the restarts, all of it. People like to ask, what if it doesn't work? But when you're committed, that question doesn't even make sense. When you're all in, only question is, what do I need to do to make it work? You become resourceful. You learn what you don't know. You show up when others will sit down. Commitment forces you to grow, to stretch, to level up. You start to tap into strength you didn't know you had. Because commitment brings clarity. It focuses your energy. It gives your days direction. You stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. There are going to be moments when everything seems stacked against you, when no one believes in you, when progress is slow, when you feel invisible. Those are the moments that test your commitment. And those are the moments that define your future. Because if you can stay locked in when it's not working, if you can stay disciplined when no one's clapping, if you can hold your vision when no one else sees it, then you've already won. You've already done what 99% of people won't do. Commitment is lonely. Let's be real about that. While others are sleeping and you're getting up. While others are partying, you're working. While others are relaxing, you're training, learning, improving. It's a lonely road, but it's also the road that leads to results. The road that leads to freedom. The road that leads to purpose. And if you're waiting for everything to feel perfect before you go all in, you'll be waiting forever. Conditions will never be ideal. The stars won't align for you. You have to create your own alignment. You have to make the decision before the motivation arrives. It's easy to commit when it's fun. It's easy when you're winning. But the test is, can you stay committed when you're losing? When you fail 3 times in a row? When the feedback is silent? When you're tired of being overlooked, underpaid, or underestimated? That's when it counts. That's when your commitment becomes real. Because anyone can start strong, but very few finish, and even fewer finish strong. Finishing strong doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from discipline, from consistency, from being the kind of person who says, I said I would, so I will. The world doesn't respond to maybe. It doesn't reward a sort of dumb as the committed. The ones who show up day after day, whether they're seen or not, praised or not, thanked or not. The ones who stay locked in, even when the progress is slow and the reward feels far off. The ones who wake up every day and remind themselves, I can, I will, I must. And because I've committed, I don't need to see the outcome to keep going. I trust the process because I've committed to it. I believe in the goal because I'm willing to fight for it. I move forward, not because I always feel ready, but because I've already decided. Talent is a gift, but grit is a choice. And in this world, choices will take you farther than gifts ever will. We've all seen people with natural ability, people who are faster, smarter, more charismatic, more skilled. But raw talent without grit is like a sports car with no fuel. It looks powerful, but it's going nowhere. Grit is what keeps you going when talent runs out. It's the engine behind greatness. It's the reason the underdog wins. It's the difference between those who start and those who finish. The truth is, talent can make things easier at first. But when the pressure hits, when life gets hard, when obstacles show up, talent alone isn't enough. That's where grit takes over. Grit doesn't rely on perfect condition. Grit doesn't need applause. Grit doesn't care how many likes, followers, or compliments you have. Grit keeps going when the lights are off and no one's watching. Grit doesn't stop because it's tired. Grit stops because the job is done. People love to admire the results. They see the highlight reel, the victories, the awards. What they don't see is the years of sacrifice, the countless hours of practice, the late nights and early mornings, the moments of doubt and frustration. That's where grit lives, in the dark, in the quiet, in the unseen. It's easy to assume someone got there because they were just unnaturally gifted. But most of the time, what looks like talent is actually just relentless work that no one bothered to see. Grit is when you fail and get back up. It's when the door slams in your face and you knock again. It's when everyone says no, and you still find a way to yes. Grit is hunger. It's the inner drive that won't let you quit. It's waking up sore and still showing up. It's doing the reps even when your body says stop. It's taking rejection and using it as fuel. Grit is the refusal to give up, to let go, to be denied. It says, I don't care what it looks like now. I know where I'm going. You might not be the fastest. You might not be the smartest. You might not be the most talented. But if you've got grit, you've got something most people don't. Because grit can't be taught in a classroom. You can't download it. You can't fake it. It's forged in pressure, in pain, in the moments when giving up will be easier. But something in you says, not yet, not now. Grit is what shows up when motivation is gone. Grit is what drives you on the days you feel empty. Grit is what whispers, keep going when everything else said, stop. Look at any great athlete, artist, entrepreneur, leader. None of them got to where they are without grit. They faced setbacks, losses, and failure, but they didn't let those things define them. They didn't fold when things got tough. They leaned in. They took the pain and made it part of the process. That's what grit does. It turns obstacles into opportunities. It turns a no into not yet. It turns every struggle into a story worth telling. Talent can open the door, but only grit keeps you in the room. Because once you get in, the standards go up. The expectations rise. The pressure increases. And if all you got is talent, you'll crumble. But if you built yourself with grit, if you trained your mind to keep pushing, your body to keep moving, your heart to keep believing, then nothing can break you. You become unshakable. Not because you're invincible, but because you've learned how to endure. Grit doesn't come from comfort. It comes from being tested. It comes from failure, disappointment, frustration. It comes from being told you're not good enough and choosing to believe otherwise. Grit is the inner declaration that says, This is not how my story ends. Grit is knowing that it might take longer than you thought. It might cost more than you expected, but it's still worth it. Because you've made a decision, you will not be outworked. You will not be outlasted. You will not fold under pressure. Too many people rely on talent and forget the grind. They get a little success and think they've made it. But success doesn't care how talented you are. It cares how committed you are, how consistent you are, how resilient you are. How resilient you are. Grit is what keeps you grounded when talent makes you arrogant. Grit is what keeps you hungry when talent makes you complacent. Grit is what reminds you to stay humble, to keep learning, to keep growing. And grit doesn't need to be flashy. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up every day. No matter what. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when no one's asking you to do it. It's about pushing past limits you thought you had. It's about training your mind to keep believing, even when the results haven't shown up yet. It's about trusting the process when the outcome still looks far away. You don't have to be the most talented to be the most successful, but you do have to be the most determined. You do have to be the most disciplined. You do have to be the one who refuses to give up, who refuses to settle. Because talent might get you noticed, but grit is what makes you undeniable. Talent fades when things get hard. Grit shines when things get hard. That's why it wins. When you rely on grit, you become the kind of person who doesn't need conditions to be perfect. You don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait for someone to push you. You create your own momentum. You generate your own energy. You stay locked in on the mission. And no matter how long it takes, no matter how tough it gets, you keep moving forward. Because grit doesn't focus on what you don't have. It focuses on what you can do with what you do have. And that mindset, that heart, that fight is what will carry you further than talent ever could. Obstacles are not there to stop you. They are there to reveal you. Life doesn't throw challenges in your path to punish you. It throws them to prepare you. Every single obstacle you face is a mirror, a test, a question. How bad do you want it? How far are you willing to go? Are you going to fold or are you going to fight? The mountain in front of you isn't meant to crush you. It's meant to call something out of you, something stronger, something deeper. Something that was sleeping inside you, waiting for a reason to wake up. Most people see obstacles as signs to stop. They hear resistance and immediately doubt their path. They start questioning themselves, their purpose, their worth. But those who succeed understand that resistance is part of the process. In fact, the resistance is the process. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when things are hard. You grow when your plans fall apart and you have to rebuild. You grow when your comfort is taken away and all that's left is your determination. That's when your character is built. That's when your spirit is tested. Obstacles introduce you to the version of yourself that comfort would never let you meet. That focus, fierce, unrelenting urgent, 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 urgent. The you that doesn't back down, the you that doesn't flinch, the you that finds a way forward when everything around you says stop. That version of you isn't born in success. It's forged in struggle. It's shaped by setbacks. It's sculpted in silence and disappointment. And that version of you is the one who's capable of winning. Not because everything went right, but because nothing could make you quit. Every obstacle carries a message, but only the focused will hear it. Some people look at a challenge and see a wall. Others see a workout. They understand that the struggle is strengthening them, the difficulty is developing them, and the pain is polishing them. They know that pressure creates diamonds. And if you want to shine, you have to be willing to the pressure. You have to stop running from the hard things and start embracing them. Because the obstacle is not the enemy, it's the opportunity. Think about it. Every great story has a conflict. Every hero faces adversity. Every breakthrough begins with a breakdown. So why would your story be any different, 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 any different. You say you want greatness, but greatness doesn't live on easy street. It's found in the trenches. It's earned through perseverance. It's built brick by brick, day by day, battle after battle. And each obstacle you overcome is a stepping stone toward that greatness. Each one gives you a new level of experience, wisdom, and resilience. You become stronger with every storm you survive. Obstacles don't block the path. They are the path. They show up not to stop you, but to show you what you're made of. They separate the committed from the curious, the serious from the spectators. They reveal whether your dream is just something you say or something you're truly willing to suffer for. And anyone can be positive when everything is going right. But who are you when it all goes wrong? Who are you when nothing is working, when everything hurts, when no one's cheering? That's the real test. That's when the fire's proven. Obstacles demand that you level up. They won't let you stay the same. If you want to overcome them, you have to become better, stronger, wiser, tougher. You have to dig deeper than you ever have before, and that digging is where the transformation happens. It's where the excuses get exposed. It's where the limits get challenged. It's where your old self gets left behind and your future self is born. But you only reach that place if you're willing to go through the hard things, not around them, not past them, through them. You weren't made to break. You were made to build. You were made to overcome. Every time you face something that seems impossible, that's your invitation to rise. That's life asking you, how strong are you willing to be? How much do you believe in your purpose? How far will you go for what you say you want? And your answer is not in your words, it's in your actions. It's in how you respond to adversity. Do you shrink or do you step up? Do you hide or do you hustle? Do you complain or do you commit? The obstacle is there to sharpen you. It's there to strip away the distractions, the excuses, the fear. It forces you to focus, to get clear, to stop talking and start building. It teaches you what you really want. Because if you don't want it bad enough, the obstacle will make sure you walk away. But if your desire is real, if your heart is in it, if your mind is locked in, then that obstacle becomes fuel. It becomes your training ground. It becomes your proof that nothing can stop you when you've decided to keep going. People often ask, oh, why is this happening to me? But the better question is, what is this trying to teach me? Because every obstacle carries a lesson. Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's discipline. Maybe it's humility. Maybe it's simply endurance. But there is always a lesson. And if you can get that lesson, if you can learn what the obstacle is trying to teach you, then you come out of it not just surviving, but evolving. You rise from the struggle better than you were before. You rise with a new level of clarity, courage, and confidence. There's no shortcut through difficulty. There's no easy way around resistance. You can't skip the hard parts and still expect to win. But the beautiful thing is, once you go through it, once you face the fire and come out the other side, you are no longer the same person. You've grown, you've hardened, you've matured, you've learned things about yourself that success could never teach you. You've built a foundation that no failure can shake. That's the power of obstacles. That's what they give you if you refuse to back down. Excuses are easy. Excuses are comfortable. Excuses are everywhere. But the truth is, excuses kill more dreams than failure ever will. People don't lose because they tried and failed. They lose because they never really tried. They stayed in the safety of their excuses. They said things like, I don't have enough time, or I'm not ready, or maybe next year. And while they were talking themselves out of action, their dreams slowly died in the background. Every excuse sounds like a reason, but it's really just a permission slip to stay average, a license to stay where you are instead of pushing for where you could be. Excuses are clever. They wear disguises. They sound smart, logical, even protective, but deep down they are rooted in fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of being uncomfortable. So we dress up that fear in words that feel justified. But make no mistake, every time you make an excuse, you are choosing to delay your destiny. You are choosing short-term ease over long-term greatness. And that choice adds up. One excuse at a time, you build a life that's smaller than what you were made for. You can't build a legacy on excuses. You can't become exceptional by constantly explaining why you're not there yet. At some point, you have to stop telling yourself the same tired story. The one that says it's someone else's fault. The one that blames the timing, the circumstances, the resources. Because as long as the problem is outside of you, you'll never take ownership. And without ownership, there's no progress. There's no power. Because power comes from realizing that you're responsible, not for everything that happens to you, but for how you respond, how you move, how you rise. Look around and you'll see it everywhere. People with less than you doing more than you. People with harder lives, tougher battles, fewer connections, and smaller resources, but they're making it happen. Why? Because they stopped making excuses. They decided that nothing would be a reason to stop. They turned their disadvantages into fuel. They flipped every obstacle into opportunity. That mindset is what separates the average from the elite. It's not about having the perfect setup. It's about being relentless with what you have. Excuses look at limitations. Execution looks for solutions. You have to be real with yourself. You have to call yourself out because no one else is going to do it for you. The world doesn't owe you anything. Life doesn't hand out rewards for good intentions. It rewards effort. It rewards consistency. It rewards those who keep showing up when it's hard, when it's quiet, when no one is clapping. If you want something, you can't just wish for it. You can't keep saying to someday. You have to get to the point where you say, enough is enough. You have to get to the point where you say, enough is enough. Enough blaming, enough hiding. It's time to move. The cost of excuses is too high. Every time you choose an excuse, you lose a piece of your potential. You lose a moment you could have used to big. You lose momentum. And once you lose momentum, it's 10 times harder to start again. That's why the people who win are not the ones who always feel ready. They're the ones who act even when they don't. You can either have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both. You have to decide what matters more. The comfort of staying the same or the reward of growth. Growth is painful. It requires you to admit where you've been lazy, where you've been scared, where you've been making excuses instead of decisions. But once you face that truth, you take back control. You stop living in reaction mode and start living with intention. You stop giving your power away and start directing it toward your goals. Excuses will always be available. You can always find a reason not to do it, not to show up, not to give your best. But champions don't operate on what's available. They operate on what's required. They ask, what does this goal demand of me? And then they become that person. They train for it. They discipline themselves. They sacrifice for it. They don't wait for the stars to align. They align themselves. They don't expect things to be easy. They expect to grow through difficulty. That's the mindset it takes to win. There's always going to be a voice in your head trying to sell you the excuse. It will say you're too tired, too busy, too old, too young, too inexperienced. It will remind you of your past, your fears, and your job is to shut that voice down, to replace it with truth, because the truth is you are capable. You are powerful. You are equipped. But none of that matters if you keep giving excuses more weight than your goals. You have to feed your dream, not your doubt. Fuel your purpose, not your pity. Discipline starts where excuses end. When you stop negotiating with yourself, when you stop making exceptions and start making commitments, that's when change begins. That's when you start to move in alignment with your goals. That's when progress becomes natural, not because it got easier, but because you got focused, you got serious. You got tired of letting excuses run your life and decided it was time to take control. You don't need more time. You need more intention. You don't need more chances. You need more choices. And the most important choice is this: no more excuses. Every day you have two options: find a reason or find a way. Excuses are rooted in the past, and what didn't work before. Action is rooted in the present. It says, I may not have had it yesterday, but I can build it today. That's the mindset that creates change. That's the energy that moves mountains. That's what builds momentum. When you stop giving yourself an out, you find a way in. You stop looking for shortcuts and start committing to the long road. You stop hoping and start doing. Because nothing will change until you decide that nothing will stop you. Discipline is the bridge between us, the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. It's the silent force that turns ambition into achievement. Everyone has goals. Everyone has dreams, but not everyone has discipline. That's the gap. That's the line that separates those who talk from those who walk. Talent might open the door. Passion might spark the fire. But discipline is what keeps it burning when the excitement fades. When things get boring, when progress feels slow. Discipline is the difference between potential and performance. You don't need to feel like it to do it. That's what discipline is. Doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Most people are controlled by how they feel. They let their emotions set the schedule. They wait to be inspired. They wait to be motivated. But winners don't wait. They work. They show up regardless. They train when it's cold. They grind when they're tired. They stick to the plan when it stops being exciting. That's how they win. Not because they're more gifted, but because they're more consistent. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about commitment. It's about deciding that your goals matter more than your excuses. It's about keeping your word to yourself. And that's hard because it's easy to break promises to yourself. There's no one there to hold you accountable. No one there to call you out. But discipline steps in and becomes that voice. Discipline says, I said I'd do it, so I will. Discipline doesn't care if it's hard. It doesn't care if it hurts. It doesn't care if you're not in the mood. It shows up anyway. And that's why discipline creates freedom. People think discipline is restrictive, but it's the opposite. The more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life, the more choices you create, the more power you build. You start to move with intention. You stop reacting and start directing. You stop wasting time and start investing in. Discipline gives you the structure to grow, to stretch, to reach levels most people never touch. Because most people aren't willing to do the work without the reward. But when you're disciplined, the work is the reward. You see it in the gym. You see it in business. You see it in school. The people who win are not always the ones who started with the most, but they're the ones who kept going when others stopped. They stayed late. They showed up early. They studied when others slept. They practiced when others played. They repeated the reps, the drills, the lessons until it became second nature. That repetition, that dedication, that consistency is not glamorous, but is what wins. Discipline is the grind behind the greatness. And yes, discipline is painful. It asks you to choose sacrifice over comfort. To say no when you want to say yes. To delay gratification when every part of you is screaming for the shortcut. But that pain is a seed. It plants strength. It grows resilience. It builds mental toughness. Every time you say no to the easy option, you grow. Every time you push through the discomfort, you expand. Discipline is what sharpens you. It breaks the soft parts and replaces them with steel. It carves out the version of you that's built for pressure, for purpose, for power. Discipline also demands clarity. You have to know what you want, why you want it, and what it's going to take to get it. Because without clarity, you'll chase feelings, you'll chase trends, you'll chase whatever looks good in the moment. But when you're clear, discipline locks you in. It gives you tunnel vision. You stop being distracted by everything around you and start getting obsessed with what's in front of you. Your goals become non-negotiable. Your standards rise. You stop entertaining mediocrity because you're focused on mastery. Think about the times you said you were going to change. The times you set a goal, made a plan, got excited, and then quit. Not because the goal was wrong, not because the plan didn't work, but because the discipline didn't hold. That's the battle. That's what most people miss. Discipline is not a one-time decision. It's a daily decision. It's not about big moves. It's about small choices repeated over and over again. It's about stacking good days, showing up even when it's inconvenient, pushing through even when progress is invisible. And discipline isn't just physical. It's mental. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's choosing to focus when your mind wants to wander. It's staying calm when your emotions want to explode. It's believing in yourself when doubt gets loud. It's choosing faith over fear, strength over fear, strength over our popularity. Discipline is not just what you do, it's who you become. It becomes part of your identity. And when that happens, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop questioning whether you should do the work. You just do it because that's who you are now. It's not about motivation. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation gets started. Discipline keeps you going. And if you rely on motivation alone, you're going to fail because motivation fades. It disappears on hard days. It vanishes when life gets stressful. But discipline is steady, it's reliable. It's quiet but powerful. It doesn't make excuses. It doesn't need attention. It just works day after day, week after week, year after year. And the more disciplined you become, the more confident you become. Because confidence doesn't come from height. It comes from habits, from doing the work, from keeping the promises you made to yourself, from knowing that you've earned the right to win, that you put in the hours, that you didn't cut corners, that you stayed the course. That's where real confidence lives. In the sweat, in the struggle, in the silence where no one's watching. People will try to distract you. They'll try to pull you off course. They'll say you're too serious, too intense, too focused. But that's only because your discipline reminds them of their lack of it. Don't let that stop you. Stay locked in. Stay committed. Keep doing the work. Keep showing up. Because the life you want isn't waiting behind luck or talent. It's waiting behind discipline. Success doesn't come by chance, and it doesn't happen overnight. Success is built day by day with relentless commitment and unshakable focus. It's not about wishing, hoping, or waiting. It's about grinding. It's about pushing forward, no matter what stands in your way. It's about taking responsibility for your life, your goals, and your future. Because nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. If you want it, you got to go get it. If you want success, you got to lock in. You got to be all in. Not halfway, not sometimes. Not only when it's easy. All in. Being all in means you eliminate the back door. You eliminate the plan B. You eliminate the option to quit. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop entertaining distraction. You stop allowing laziness to creep into your habits. When you say all in, it's not a phrase, it's a promise. A promise to yourself that you're going to show up, that you're going to fight for it, that you're not going to stop until it's done. That mindset changes everything. Because most people aren't all in. Most people are interested. They'll try if it's convenient. They'll give effort when it feels good. But the moment it gets hard, they back off. That's why they lose. That's why they stay stuck. When you're all in, you understand that your dream is not just something you chase on the weekends. It's not just a side project, it becomes your priority. It becomes the reason you wake up early and stay up late. It becomes the force that organizes your life. It tells you what to say yes to and what to say no to. It shapes your routine, your habits, your mindset. You stop wasting time because time becomes precious. Every hour is a tool. Every moment is a step. Every choice either pulls you closer to your goal. Away. Success requires obsession. It requires sacrifice. It requires you to say no to comfort and yes to commitment. And that's not popular. That's not glamour. Most people won't understand. They'll say you're too intense. They'll say you need to relax. But they don't get it because they're not chasing what you're chasing. They don't feel that fire in their gut like you do. And that's fine. You're not here to be understood. You're here to execute. You're here to win. You're here to win. You're to show the world what happens when someone goes all in on themselves. Being all in means you stop measuring your effort by feelings. You stop asking, do I feel like it today? And you start asking, what needs to be done today? You show up regardless. You stay consistent. You hold yourself accountable even when no one else is watching. That's where the results are built. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows, not on stage, but behind the scenes. That's where champions are made. In silence, in solitude, in sacrifice. That's the price, and most people aren't willing to pay it. But you are, because you're all in. You're not dipping your toe in the water, you're diving head first. You're not trying to see if it might work. You're making it work. You're not interested in trying. You're committed to finishing. That's the difference between the people who win and the people who win. The ones who win don't ask for certainty. They don't wait for guarantees. They create their own outcomes through effort, discipline, and focus. They bet on themselves. They don't need perfect conditions. They don't need constant motivation. They just decide, this is what I'm doing, and they go get it. Being all in doesn't mean it'll be easy. It means you'll keep going even when it's hard. It means you'll keep showing up even when you're tired. It means you'll keep believing even when no one else does. Because you're not chasing approval. You're not chasing applause. You're chasing greatness. And greatness demands everything. It demands your time, your energy, your focus, your patience. It demands sacrifice. It demands risk. But it gives back something more valuable than comfort ever could. It gives you fulfillment. It gives you pride. It gives you the life you were meant to live. Most people want results, but they don't want to change. They want success, but they don't want to struggle. They want progress, but they don't want to pay the price. That's not how it works. You don't get to have the reward without the grind. You don't get to stand on the podium without running the miles. You don't get to enjoy the success if you're not willing to go through the sacrifice. You gotta want it more than you want to be comfortable. You gotta want it more than you want people's approval. You gotta want it more than your excuses. When you're all in, you don't dabble. You dominate. You don't tiptoe, you take over. You move with urgency. You move with purpose. You move like every second matters. Because it does. Time is the one thing you can't get back. Every moment wasted is a moment you could have used to build. Every excuse made is progress delayed. Every distraction entertained is an opportunity lost. And when you're all in, you start to see those things differently. You start protecting your time. You start valuing your energy. You start moving like your goals aren't optional, they're necessary. There's no halfway with success. There's no part-time commitment for full-time rewards. You either go all in or you stay where you are. You either take control of your life or life controls you. That's the decision you've got to make. Are you going to keep playing small? Are you going to keep settling? Are you going to keep holding back? Or are you going to commit? Are you going to rise? Are you going to finally say, I'm done waiting, I'm done doubting, I'm done making excuses? This is my time. That choice is yours. The power is in your hands. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, here, today. So now it's on you. No more maybe, no more halfway, no more waiting for the perfect moment. Because this is the moment. Right here, right now. You say you want it, prove it. You say you're ready, show up. Not just today, not just when it feels good, but every single day. Be consistent, be relentless, be all in. Tell the world, tell yourself, I can, I will, I must. Because there's no other option. There's no plan B. You got something inside you that this world hasn't seen yet, and it's time to unleash it. So don't hold back. Don't shrink, don't play small, the dream is real, the fire is lit. The mission is clear, so rise up, lock in, grind harder, push deeper, keep moving forward no matter what tries to stop you. This is your life, this is your moment, this is your time. All in, I can, I will.